Hello everybody, Glass Half Dead here, and today I want to talk to you about Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team and White Dwarf number 476, because we have a word. Yes, that's right. This is a random speculation video based on one word in a Warhammer Community article for a White Dwarf that will release in like 2 weeks time. Are you ready? So, in the next White Dwarf number 476, we don't have a new kill team. We already knew that because in the last edition of the White Dwarf, it didn't say new kill team next month, which it normally does. Instead, we have what is said right here. There are also rules and missions for using sentries in kill team. That's it. That's what this 8 minutes and 1 second video is going to be talking about. What is a sentry in kill team? We don't know. I just get it. Okay, there you go. If that's the only reason you're here, we don't know. It's a complete mystery. We will obviously find out soon. We do not believe that it is a new team. It's possible that in the last edition of White Dwarf, they broke what they normally do, and there was a new kill team coming in this one, but they just didn't tell us. But they haven't capitalized it, therefore it's not a proper noun, therefore it's probably not a kill team. What could that mean? First things first, obviously we explore the Games Workshop website. I have to move closer to the camera and cut myself off, but that's life as I go over to here. So we go to the Games Workshop site and we type in Sentry. Maybe that will tell us something, because certainly when I considered what could a sentry be, the first thing I thought was, let's look at the model. Right? Let's type in SEN. Do we get anything? We get a sentinel. Okay. And then we get a bunch of stuff from Age of Sigmar, Warcry, Middle Earth. Okay. Is it going to be a sentinel? I mean, it could be, but it probably isn't. So we then go to SENTRY. We type in sentry. Your search does not match any products. Okay, fine. Now, I had thought of a specific model when I read Sentry. You know, we've got the Phobos Marines coming out soon, and I thought perhaps this is what they meant. Are you ready? Servo turret. This is what I thought they might mean. It's possible. It's possible, but then would they have said missions for servo turrets? Missions for turrets probably would have. So with that out of the way, there's absolutely no clue on the Games Workshop website for what a sentry is. Okay, fair enough. So let's talk about what a sentry is, shall we? That's right, we take it right back to basics. A soldier stationed to keep guard or to control access to a place. This implies to me that we are going to be getting, are you ready? Single player rules. Why else? So, okay, no, sorry. It could be similar to Warcry, where if you don't know, in Warcry they have essentially NPCs. They're called Beasts of Chaos. They came in the core box when it first began. They were like harpies or something, I can't remember. And they were controlled in an interesting way. If I recall, they were controlled as kind of a third player almost. It was an alternating activation, and you could choose to move one of the monsters instead of one of your guys. I can't quite recall. And that was a way to get around needing any sort of AI deck. For those of you that don't know, when you're playing a single player, a game that is normally 2-player, but you want to play as a single player, you normally need something called an AI deck, which of course is artificial intelligence deck, where you draw a card and that tells you as the single player how you should act with the model, the third party, the second player that isn't really there. Could this be that? Could we be getting ourselves a little AI deck? We certainly know that in White Dwarfs before, they have given us cards. They've given us kill team cards, they've given us 40k stratagem cards, secondaries. Maybe we're going to be getting another set of cards, but this time for kill team, it's going to be an AI deck. Very interesting. The alternative is that if it isn't a single player, standalone kind of game mode, it could be a way to include sentries from a third team inside your games. Now that's pretty cool. Obviously we don't know what it is, but what if it is that? I've got to say, honestly, I'm pretty excited for two reasons. One, it could be a way to play the game solo, and I actually want that because I have struggled to get games in, and I can't play this edition against myself like I could the previous edition. I just can't. I don't know why. I think it's the alternating activations. It makes it very difficult for me to play properly against myself. So an AI deck would be really cool for me personally, and I think a lot of people do like to have a single player option in their tabletop games. I don't know why, but they do. The other option, of course, is a far more narrative option. Kill Team obviously does have a lot of narrative rules. It's called the Spec Ops campaign. You can play an entire campaign with multiple people using crazy rules that nobody pays any attention to, because of course we're all hardcore, die-hard competitive players. However, could this be a way for you to play your regular Spec Ops campaigns and include an NPC faction? Now that sounds pretty cool. So this would allow you to have an NPC faction, let's say, what's a sentry, what's a good sentry? Phobos Marines, right? Perhaps you're standing around and you're trying to, you know, you've got commandos on one side, you've got Vet Guard on the other, and these are the two players at the table for the Spec Ops game, both running their own campaigns. And then you've got your Phobos Marines, and they are the third party in the game. They are the sentries. They play from some sort of AI deck, right? I think you still need that AI deck, or you need a slight change in turn structure, similar to what I said with how the NPC monsters are run in Warcry, where you have to make an option. Instead of activating one of your guys, you can activate an NPC model instead, sort of thing. However, if you were to do that, that would be such a huge balance change to the game, because then one of the horde teams, I mean, it would always benefit you to use the third party models before you moved any of your guys trying to wait out the opponent. That's how that game would go. So you need some sort of restriction in there. You'd need either the AI deck, but if you don't have that, then you need a change to the fundamental core turn structure, and when you are allowed to use the sentry instead of your own model. There you go. And that's it. That's all I can think of. I can't imagine it being anything else with a name like Sentry, but it could be. That would be fun. That would be cool. I don't know what it would be though. Like, we could look at the Sentinel, I suppose. It could be some sort of boss battle type thing, as we've discussed on this channel before. But I really do think that it's going to be some sort of single player or third party control deck. And that will be really cool if that's what it is. And if it isn't that, then I think it's time that we as a community make that ourselves. Because I'm going to save that for another video, but it's going to be called something like why I can't sad hammer anymore in Kill Team, because I can't do it. So guys, if sentries turn out somehow magically to not be an AI deck or a third party turn structure change, I think we should probably do that ourselves. But we're going to give it 2 weeks until subscribers get their early copies. Okay everybody, this is Big Glass Update. I hope you've had a good day and continue to have a good day. Goodbye.